Good morning, everybody. While y'all pull up in here and I get myself together, we're gonna get ready to get the pleasantries out of the way. Y'all come on in, come on in, come on in. Drop it in the chat so I can shout you out. Say good morning or something like that. I'm remembering this time, so I'm putting the link in the chat immediately. So if anybody want to pull up and ask a question, but before we get into that, let's just say hello. Good morning, everybody. If this is your first time tuning in, my name is Timothy Lee Rogers Sr. I get on Al Gore's internet every single day at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Usually 6:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but for the next few weeks, it's going to be 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time just to talk about the price action in the market. The reason why I do it, because I started out doing Tim's Tidbit just to share all the knowledge that I had with close friends and family for free. And so let me get myself together here. Where's my banner? There you go. For free. And after I shared everything all the knowledge I had gained from, just putting in hours of YouTube videos, buying courses from great investors and traders, and then I just start sharing it for free 99. And now I get on the internet every single day to show people what a full-time trader would do in any market condition. How a full-time trader would look at the price action, the look for high probability trades, how to manage risk, how to look at the economic calendar. If all that stuff sounds like something you're interested in, welcome. Join the family. Join the Spider Gang. Subscribe. And only thing I should do is hit the like button. It's on one side of the screen. It's either over here or it's over here, or it might be in the middle like it is on my son's iPad. But wherever the like button is, I ask you to press the like button. That's the only thing I ask you to do. I do it for the free 99. I will always do it for the free 99. I just ask that you hit the like button. So please hit the like button. And after you hit the like button, if you feel so inclined, hit the share. Share it with one cousin you like and one cousin you don't like, so we can come together and build a new Wakanda forever. Together. Now, before we go holler at the people in the chat, let's shout out our sponsors. Today's sponsor is the new TLR.com. Go to the new TLR.com and buy your Spider Gang merch. Spider Gang apparel and accessories. The apparel and accessory shop for traders and investors. You can get you I got options. I buy them, I sell them t-shirt. One of my favorites, Discipline Over Dollars. Get you a Discipline Over Dollars shirt. Discipline over dollars. Cause you want to focus on the discipline over the dollars. Y'all see the Spider Gang logo? That's the O in the word dollars. That's very nice. And one of my other favorites is, that's my personal favorite. One of my other favorites is, I'm not a bull or a bear, I'm a beast. Go get your Spider Gang merch and accessories at thenewtlr.com. Shout out our other sponsor, Banjo. Banjo, now streaming on all streaming platforms. New music by Il Jodam. Banjo, now streaming on all streaming platforms. The link for Banjo to Apple Music is in the chat. I just put it in the chat. The link for Banjo, the streaming on Apple Music, is in the chat. If you don't have Apple Music, just go to any streaming platform and look for Banjo by Il Jodam, and you will be able to support our sponsors. Full disclosure, the new TLR is me, and Banjo is music created by my son, Timothy Lee Rogers Jr. Support our sponsors. What's going on, y'all, man? How y'all doing today, man? Let me see who in the Brittany. I was looking for you yesterday, Brittany. Thank you for joining us this morning, lovely. How is the tea and crumpets in your area? What's going on, Darren? Cool it now. What's up, Cool it? What's up, Cal? What's going on here to learn and share? What's happening, Dominique? Trey, what's up, Trey? Tell them boys I said what's happening. What's up, Ryan? What's going on, Ryan? Hey, Ryan, was that you that sent me the stuff on IG about the questions for Q? If it was you, go back and put it in the question box. Put your question in the question box. Oh, yeah, I put up 3 stories. One said questions for Eric, one said questions for Q, and one said questions for Lil Timmy Rogers. Go in and put in the question for whatever y'all want us to maybe touch on next Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. East Standard Time. What's going on, Tasha? Tell Snoopy I said, arr, 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 arr. He know what I'm talking about. My sweetie in the building, y'all. Hey, baby. What's going on, Kareem? What's happening? Michelle Tucker. What's going on, Michelle Tucker? What's up, Sonia? Sonia. What's happening? What's going on, Ebony and Ivory? What's up, Ebony? What's going on, Karen? How you doing, Colleen? Whoa, wait a minute. From the west side? You in Cali, Karen? What's going on? Oh, you talking about you from the west side of Georgia? You over there? You from East Wind? Or you what are you talking about? What are you talking about? West side, Cali? What's going on, Colleen? Well, say I went to a middle school b-ball game. Tea and crumpets is divine. Oh yeah, you went. Yeah. She went to the Rhonda Green. What's going on, Rhonda Green? Good morning. Good morning. Yes, sir. I just don't know how to use the question box. I don't use Instagram app, and I'm a little. Oh yeah. I didn't have it up when you initially sent it to me. If you go back and look at my stories, it's a question box on there. So if you click on it, you can just put your question in that box, and that way it's on there. All the questions will be on that story. I ain't got to try to filter through all the DMs to find the questions. All the questions will be in that story, and I can just take a screenshot of everybody's question. So if you go back and look at my stories now, you will see 3 stories. It's a picture of Eric that say questions for Eric. It's a picture of Q that say questions for Q, and it's a picture of me that say questions for Lil Timmy Rogers. It's 3 different stories. But if you want to ask everybody a question, just click on the box on their story, and when you click on the box, you can type your question in that box, and then it'll be in one spot. I won't have to go try to look for the questions through a million DMs. Appreciate you. Huh? Yeah, that's why I broke it down, baby. The best side, Sacktown. What's going on? West side? The best side, Sacktown. Sacramento? Is that Sacramento? Sacktown, Sacramento? What's up, Towns? What's happening? You might be able to copy your DM. Oh, yeah. Yeah. You can do that. You can go to you can appreciate that here to learn, share. You can go to your DM, the DM that you sent me, and just copy the question and then go to the story and paste it in the question box so you ain't got to retype it out. Yeah. Yeah, appreciate y'all. What's going on, Jackie? What y'all got going on back there in the background, Jackie? Y'all in the creek? Y'all like that noodling, trying to catch big catfish? What y'all doing in the creek back there? Y'all like that noodling? Y'all ever seen them show when them dudes be noodling? Them females and them men be noodling. Now, if y'all don't know what noodling is, that's a southern thing. They them southern gals and guys, they go out there in the water be murky, look like you gonna get gangrene, and they go out there and they put their arm like way, they be shoulder deep. Sometimes they go under the water, right? And they be down there and they put their hand in a big old catfish mouth. And when it come up, the catfish be like way up here. And they pull the catfish up, and they call that noodling. They catch the catfish with just their arm. I don't see how that catfish don't be biting them. What's up, Ramon? What's going on, Ramon? What's going on, Erica? Erica. I be looking at everybody. What's the name? I be looking at y'all pictures. Y'all look profile pictures. Y'all put some profile pictures on there so I can see what y'all look like, man. Let's get into it. Hey, what we gonna do today? We just gonna peek at our friend Spyleen. Where you at, baby? Here I go. What's up, Spyleen? We gonna peek at Spyleen, and then instead of just talking about the overnight price action, get the lipstick off the chart. Get out of there. Wrong one. Get off the chart. We just gonna peek at Spyleen real quick, and then I wanna I grew up in Sacramento. I live an hour and a half away up the hill in the foothills. Yeah, okay. Hablo Espanol, not noodling. Catch from old school. Okay, then Poland hook. I feel you. Hey, when we what was I saying? My sweetie popping them things up there. She got me. She got me over here. Hey, oh yeah. We gonna peek at Spalene, and then instead of just looking at the overnight price section, I want to share with y'all what I've been trying to train my eye to do as far as reading the price section instead of just cause the market, you know, it's kind of dull right now. We going up, we going down, we just kind of in the same place. So I want to share with you what I've been trying to train my eye to do. So right now, Spalene looking like she about to gap up. Got a slight gap up coming. Less than $1. We closed at 426.65, and right now we're sitting at 427.17. So we about to gap up. And for anybody that don't know, like if you don't like on TradingView, they have like the little line where you can see where the pre-market and the post-market be. But if you don't have like TradingView, or if your platform don't show you that, you can always tell if you're going to gap up and gap down if you use the ES and you mark off where the 4 o'clock candle closed at the day prior, and then if the price is above that, like how the price right now is at 42.8150, and we closed at 42.7650. Right now, you can see that if long as we stay above that 42.7650, you can see that the SPY is going to gap up. If we were below 42.7650, then you can be like, okay, the SPY fund to gap down. That's how you can see if we gonna gap up or gap down, by looking at where the ES closed, at the 4 o'clock candle close, and then it'll show you where the SPY is about to. It ain't gonna give you the exact number on the SPY, but you can just see it's gonna be a gap up or a gap down. All right. We're gonna peek at the overnight price action real quick, and then let me go ahead and move this, because when I came in here at 7 o'clock, we have taken this buy side liquidity. So let me adjust this real quick, and then we're gonna get into it. All right, boom. So now, let me go ahead and mark the equal lows. Right, well, I ain't even gonna mark it, but we can see them equal low. We got some equal lows sitting right here. These 60-minute candles right now, we got some equal lows sitting at 42.7825, and we already know them equal lows be like targets for liquidity. The buy side liquidity I got marked out right now is the new overnight high that we just made at 42.9275. I also got some marked out from yesterday at 43.0525. Then it's a fair value gap just above that, and then the 43.15 that's been up there since what's that? The 16th. Yeah, since the 16th. So that's been there since the 16th. All right. So downside, we're flirting with the top of a fair value gap right now, looking like this is giving me, I want to get down into this fair value gap vibes. So we flirting with the fair value gap right now. I'm looking for it to come down into this fair value gap relatively quickly. Oh, today we had job numbers. Let's look at the job numbers. Were the job numbers good or bad? Do anybody know? Did anybody see what the job numbers were? Were the job numbers good or bad? Anybody who don't know how to use Econo Day, this is my site of choice for checking out economic data. You can also use forexfactory.com. If you go to forexfactory.com, it lays out the information just like on Econo Day. You see, we had the Philly Fed manufacturing index, and we had unemployment claims. Now you see, here's the one where it's reversed, right? The jobless numbers on Econo Day is red, right? And the Philly is red, meaning that it's a market moving event, potentially volatile event, right? But on Forex Factory, the jobless numbers are orange, meaning it's not. like really, really volatile. You know what I'm saying? You got yellow, orange, and red. It's like, so it's like medium on Forex Factory, whereas on Econo Day it's red. You see what I'm saying? So that's why I say sometimes the colors differ depending on if it affects currencies more than equities. Forex Factory is geared more toward currencies. Econo Day is geared more toward like the equities, like the stocks and stuff like that. Forex Factory is currencies, right? So you can get the same information on both of them. If you come there, right here, you see how this says consensus on the existing home sales, because that event hasn't happened yet. Once the event happens, the word changes to reports. If you click on consensus or reports, it takes you to the page and it shows you what the consensus is. But once the event passes, then on the report page, it has a column that says actual. And looking at this, the unemployment numbers were actually very good. It dropped well below the consensus range. So since it was so, that means that the market was already expecting that. Anytime, this is super good. It's like the consensus was 265,000, right? The consensus range was 257,000 to 266,000, and it was only 200,000. 250,000 initial claims. That's 15,000 less than the consensus, and it's 7,000 less than the bottom of the consensus range. So that means a whole lot less people filed for unemployment for the first time than expected. That's super good. But looking at what the market did, it just went up just a tad bit. Let's see exactly what let's drop down to a 5-minute chart. It actually went down. The market actually went down off of that news, right? It actually went down. Let's see what the other one was. Maybe it was this right here that brought it down, when the market was already expecting the job numbers to be low, but they wasn't expecting it to be that low. Okay, I ain't gonna hold you. I don't even know what this Philly Manufacturing Index is about. Let's read it. The general condition index from this business outlook survey is a diffused index of manufacturing condition within the Philadelphia Reserve District. This survey widely followed as an indicator of manufacturing sector trends, is correlated with the ISM Manufacturing Index and the Index of Industrial Production. Read, Tim. Why do we care about this? Blah 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 blah. Backdrop for various markets, stock market, blah blah blah. The Philly Fed survey gives a detailed look at the manufacturing sector, how busy it is, and where things are headed. Since manufacturing is a major sector of the economy, this report is a big influence on market behavior. Some of the Philly Fed sub-indexes also provide insight and commodity prices and other clues on inflation. The bond market is highly sensitive to this report because it is released early in the month and is available before other important indicators. Okay. I like when it tell you good or bad. I like when it tell you like this is good for this. Okay. A lot of times it'll tell you like it's good for this, good. Okay, actual. Okay, if it's greater than forecast, it's good for currencies. So if it's higher than forecast, it's good for currencies. And a lot of time things that's good for currencies are bad for equities, because the currencies typically have an inverse relationship to the equities. So if greater is good for currencies, then greater would be bad for equities. All right. So what was the numbers? The consensus was -5, and 6.2 is higher than -5. So greater is good for currencies. So bad for equity. So, hey, maybe that's what took it down. I don't know. I ain't gonna hold you. I don't know what that is, but I just read it. It kind of makes sense in my head for it to be going down. It went down. Anyway, I don't care. I feel like the market need to come down anyway, and the algo is just using the news to do what it want to do. It's using the news to do what it want to do. Because anytime we would have had some jobless numbers that good before, we would have skyrocketed. But we ain't skyrocketing because the algos really want to go down. We coming down, right? But we really ain't go nowhere. We just kind of pulled back a slightly. So here we go. We took out that buy side liquidity, and the sell side liquidity I got these fair value gaps, and then the overnight low. We do have some equal lows right here at 42, 62, 75. I'll mark those because it's not really that close to the overnight low. So I'll mark them. I didn't click on that. I'll mark those at 42, 62, 75. That's some sell side liquidity right there. Relatively close to the London Open. Now that we see everywhere where the liquidity laying to the downside and the upside. I'm looking for this to like kind of push down once we open. And the reason why I say that is because when we came up here and broke this high right here, we wicked down off of it. So we struggling to get up here. Will it go immediately? I don't know. We may get a little bounce, hit some buy side. But I know as long as we don't get this 4305, the market gonna push down. It ain't giving me I want to bounce up real high vibes right now. Could be wrong because when it came back down to this breaker right here, breaker, order block, all that, yada yada yada, it bounced back up again. It bounced back off it again. And looking at this right here, let's see if that's wick for wick. 42, 58, 25. 42, 58, 25. It went wick for wick right there. It came down to this breaker that I marked out yesterday. I call it a breaker. Is it officially a breaker yet? I don't know. It may just be an order block right now. But I call it a breaker because of the way I've looked at found it. Came up, we broke this high. We ran liquidity up here, made a high, right? And then we started coming down. I extended that high out in time. Once we came up, we broke liquidity. I extended that high out in time, right? Once we came down and we ran liquidity up under this low here, sold off that we run liquidity, right? Came down, ran liquidity up under here, boom. Once we get all the way down, made the low and came back up. Once we broke that high that I extended out in time, then I come to the lowest point of that triangle. Right? Come to the lowest point of that triangle and extend that out in time. That's my breaker. That's how I learned it from ICT. And then once I find the breaker, then I can go back and find the low, the high, the lower low, higher high. That's when I can identify that. But once I find that breaker, I expect it to bounce off that breaker. And the reason why I say, hey, it could be an order block, because if you look, right, we coming up, we got the shift in sentiment, right? And then we blast off. Here go your last down close candle right there with a fair value gap. After we trade back through it, boom, there go your potential order block. So boom, you got your order block, you got your breaker, you got all that. And when I expect it to come back to the breaker, I expect it to bounce. Boom, it bounced off of there, right? It bounced, it went up, but guess what it didn't do? It didn't take out this high, it didn't take out that high, and then it came right back down to the exact same spot of this green candle, went wick for the low. That's why I was like, is this wick for wick? 42, 58, 25, 42, 58, 25. Came down here wick for wick right there, creating these nice relative equal, not even relative, these nice equal lows. These lows right here are equal. Where's my line? Oh, I took my line. I didn't copy my line. I'm like, I had a line there. Then put this line back. I thought I copied my line. I took my line. Okay. The market getting ready to open up in 5 minutes. Right? So boom. Once we came down and we starting to push down right now. Once we came down and made equal low, we pushed back up. But again, we did not take out the highs. We didn't even take out this high right here. And that's not even a swing high. We did not take out the highs. That's why I say it's giving me it want to push down vibes. Not just because I'm bearish on the week. It's just because the market is like looking heavy. It's looking really heavy. When I go to a 60-minute, these 60-minute candles already. Yeah, these are 60-minute candles. Okay, yeah, boom. There you go. From the 16th, you got the 16th high. Then you come down. You got the 17th high, right? The New York didn't even take out the overnight high on the 17th. So you got the highs getting lower and lower and lower, right? The market is looking heavy. That's why I was saying I'm looking for it to come down and fill in these fair value gaps before anything. It's coming, and we got a breaking structure. We got a 60-minute breaking structure with a fair value gap right here. So it's looking heavy. It want to come back. And it's still, the price action still, the market looking real heavy, but it's, it's giving you these, I want to try to reverse things. So that in my mind, it's just going to lead to a bunch of chop. But what I was saying, I'm trying to train my eyes to look at right now. I know I spent a lot of time on the overnight price action. Those are the levels I'm looking at. Y'all already know how I trade. Once I get to that liquidity level or to that fair value gap, you know what I'm saying? If it's my setup, I'm going to take it. If it's not my setup, I ain't going to take it. If I ain't feeling comfortable about it, I ain't going to take it. Once it get to the buy side or the sell side liquidity, I'm going to look for it to give me a setup. I ain't going to just react off the buy side and the sell side liquidity. I got to wait for my setup. There go your levels. What I've been trying to train my eye to look at, right? What I say? I haven't looked. What I said? I haven't looked, but I assuming. Wait a minute. I haven't looked, but I'm assuming good. Any reason for the market to be bullish? I think green this morning. Then we go down, like Mary J said. Yeah, I like to go up before I go down. But it's like the way the market been trading lately, it's been doing like a lot of stuff during the London. Just like see how but from the Asian into Sydney, we kind of dilly-dally. Then when we started going toward the London, we were selling off going toward the London. Then once the London opened up, right? Once we opened up in the London, we bounced off and took off and went up, right? So boom, is this our up then drop? You see what I'm saying? We did the up during the London. Is the New York gonna give us a drop, or is the New York gonna give us consolidate? Because the market can cool off by retracing, pulling back, or consolidating. All right. We ain't got to go down to cool off. We could just consolidate. You know what I'm saying? We consolidate. They can make the move during the London and then just dilly-dally, chop city during the New York. Make the move during the London, chop city during the New York. I'd have seen that many times. Just like yesterday was chop suey. Here we go right here. Is this yesterday? Yeah, this yesterday right here. So we coming down. This is the London. Make the move during the London, right? Chop suey during the New York. You see what I'm saying? The down move during the London, chop suey during New York, right? But let's see how it play out. The market getting ready to open up in 1 minute. But like I was saying, this is what I've been trying to train my eye to see. I've been trying to train my eye to see when the algos have rebalanced that area to their satisfaction. What, Tim? What you mean by that? I'm glad you asked that question, little Timmy Rogers, right? You know how we come in here and we mark out fair value gaps, like this 60-minute fair value gap that I got marked out up here above this buy side liquidity at 43.05. This 60-minute fair value gap I got marked out right here, encompassing the New York close. The market is now open for anybody that's got to go ahead and trade. I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me. Again, I got stories up right now on my IG page. Questions for Eric, my financial advisors. Questions for Q, the homie Q, and questions for me. It's 3 different stories. We're gonna be having a conversation about the overall market on Tuesday, August 23rd at 7:30 p.m. Do me a favor, go drop your questions in that box. We ain't gonna answer all of them. I'm gonna send them to them and let them pick out the ones they want to answer. Hit the like button on your way out the door if you gotta go. Appreciate you. Trade safe out here in these monkeypox streets. So got these fair value gaps marked out, right? Y'all already know I like to say wax on, wax off. You know what I'm saying? For the fair value gaps, I see T say offering sell side, offering buy side, meaning trade through the gap in both directions. Some people say gap fill and retrace, like the homie Jason Sweeney. He say gap fill and retrace. A lot of people say gap fill and retrace, right? So once we get the wax on, wax off, right? I'm trying to train my eye to see when are the algos satisfied with that area, right? And I don't do a lot of back testing anymore because I feel like back testing is for when you're trying to flesh out your setup, flesh out your strategy, flesh out, you know what I'm saying, your trading style, right? That's what. And now I got my trading strategy, I got my trading setup, you know what I'm saying, I trust it. So I don't do a lot of back testing anymore. What I do now, I just go back and I read the charts. I read the charts just like I'm reading a book. I go back and I just look at price action and I sit down and I study what price action did, right? I go back and I look at gaps. I look at gap downs. I look at fair value gaps. I look at how price treats those areas. And it is not just to look to say, oh, price came to it and left. No, I try to look at it in full detail and see exactly how it reacted. And I usually start at like the 60-minute, you know what I'm saying? Because I want to look at the intraday and I'll like work my way down. But I'm not going to work my way all the way down today. I'm just going to look at the 60-minute. But what I do, I look at, just say this gap down over here, right? Let's get a box. Let's get a box. So boom, I'm gonna come here and we're gonna look at this gap down right here, right? Right. Go there. Go there. Let me drop the 15-minute real quick so I can make sure I mark it out good. Because sometime on the 60-minute counters, if it be a smaller gap, then okay, so boom, yeah, I got it good. There you go. Boom. Okay, so we got the gap down. That's the 12th. What is that? Okay, yeah, so that's the Sunday gap down, right? So for the Sunday gap down, that was the Sunday gap down because that's the 14th. That's the 12th. Yes. Yes. So the Sunday gap down, we marked the Sunday gap down. Now let's go back up to the 60-minute, right? So I look at what I do. Let me extend this out a little bit more. All right, so we got the Sunday gap down here, right? We go down, we trade back to it, we trade through it, right? We got the gap fill, the retracement, right? Gap fill, retracement, offering sell side, offering buy side, offering sell side, right? Wax on, wax off, right? Any way you want to look at it. So we got the wax on, wax off, right? Once we waxed on and waxed off, right? You notice when we waxed on, right, we wick back down after taking out this liquidity, right? And then we opened up in it, we went down, we sold off, but this time we came back to it. We came back to it, we blast through it, blow on this hourly counter. So like on an hourly level, right, this was balanced. This gap was balanced on an hourly level, You see what I'm saying? So now that it's balanced on an hourly level, right? If the price come back to it, I'm expecting this gap down to act as support or resistance. If it's, you know what I'm saying, whichever way it's going to it. That's why the other day I was like, I needed to come down to this fair value gap right here. If y'all remember the other day when I was talking, I said I need price to come down to this fair value gap right there. Let me change the color so we can see it. 60-minute imbalance, right? I needed to come to this fair value gap right here. And this, I expect this gap down. I expect the sun to gap down to act as support. That's the reason why I was saying I expected to act as support, because we got the wax on, we got the wax off. I kind of said this the other day, but I wanted to make sure I clarify it, right? We got the wax on, we got the wax off, and we blew through it. So that area is balanced now. The algos have done what they need to do. You all right, baby? Yeah. Oh, the algos have done what they need to do with this area, right? So now that the algos have done what they need to do with this area, right now it ain't no reason for them to have to go back down here right now. You see what I'm saying? Because the algos are finished with this area right now. It's rebalanced. So now when they come back down to this area right here where we made a gap going up, that's why I was like, I needed to get down into this gap and let this area be support to take us back up. So now we've come back down to this gap, right? We've come back down to this gap. So now we doing the wax on, wax off of this area right here, of this gap. So we take it up, right? So now we got the wax on, wax off of this area, but peep this here. We coming down and we making more and more gaps. And we didn't just blammo through there like we did last time on the 60-minute. It's like we kind of, we were struggling to get through there. Through this and not the, let me get rid of that. That's done. We done with that because we used it as support. Boom, bounced off it. But we coming back to this fair value gap after we do the wax on, wax off, right? We wicked into it. I mean, we went down and we wicked up. We stopped here and we pushed up, right? So once we did that, we came in here and we kind of hiccuped our way through there, right? We kind of hiccuped our way through there, right? But once we did that, we came back up and we got into this fair value gap right here. And then boom, we pushed back off of it. You see what I'm saying? It's like we only went up to these candles right here, right? Because we waxed on, waxed off, and then we took off from the top of it, right? And then once we came back into it to the bottom side of it, you know what I'm saying? The wax on, wax off was totally, let me get this line right here. Put a line there. See, the top half of it was already balanced out because we came to it from this side. The algos didn't need to go up anymore past that. Its business was done. You see what I'm saying? Just another time for safe measure. Something on the lower time frames probably needed to get worked out too. Then we came back down where? To this breaker. The same spot I said, hey, if we bounce off this breaker, I'm getting out. Right. And this is why I said if we bounce off this, remember yesterday when I was like, if we come to this breaker and we bounce off this breaker, I'm getting out my shorts because I put on some shorts right up, just say in somewhere in this calendar because it was at 10:25 when I put on my puts yesterday. Right. So when I said if we bounce off this breaker, I'm getting out. Right. So now you see why I said if we bounce off this breaker, I'm getting out because we had already waxed on, waxed off the top half. Right, we waxed on, waxed off the bottom half, showing. See, the algos were like, okay, I don't need to go no further. That part totally balanced, right? Then we come back up. Yeah, it's balanced. Pang out. I take off. I'm gone now. I don't need that. So if we bounce off this area, we gonna blast through this fair value gap right here because the wax on, wax off is totally balanced now. You see what I'm saying? We're going to blast through. So that's why I say if we bounce off this breaker, I'm getting out my position because I expect it to accelerate to the upside and take care of all this gap work that we had up there, all that gap work we had marked out yesterday, if we bounce off that breaker, I was expecting that. And we got as high as we only left one gap. We didn't get to one fair value gap. The rest of them, we got all the way up to it. So now we slowly doing the wax on, wax off in the processes. And right now, the algos are stopping here. Right. So if the algo stopping here, see these gaps right here, it may have not have been a whole lot of people up there because the algos went up there on the 1500 candle. Then when they came back again, they stopped right here on the 1600 candle. And when they came back up in the area again, they stopped right here. They getting lower and lower and lower. So that means it probably didn't take a whole lot of wax on, wax off going on. So that's what I'm trying to train my eye to see, where the algos are rebalancing at. Okay, hurt is stopping here. Okay, hurt is stopping there. And that's how I'm trying to frame that's how I'm trying to train my eye to see it. And as you see yesterday, it worked out perfectly because I said if it bounced off this, well, y'all didn't hear me say that. I was telling y'all if it bounced off this, I was getting out of my shorts because I had already said I want to see it I want to see it take care of this gap work up here. But since we was like dilly-dallying under here, I said, okay, maybe the algos are through with this area. You see what I'm saying? Maybe they're going to push down because we pushing off of the bottom half of this gap. But I said, but if we bounce off of this breaker, now that this has been balanced, I expect price to go through it. And you see what it did. It gave me the and so that's why I'm glad I got out of that position. That's why I got out of the position, right? I don't have a crystal ball. I just try to think about the most highly probable. And like you see over here, what we doing? I say I think we was going to come down here and get these fair value gaps first thing, right? It ain't have to do it, but that's what I thought. I was like the market looking really heavy, right? See, we stopped there, we stopped there, we stopped there. The algos acting like they done with these fair value. They acting like they balanced right now. Right, and they balanced in the market heavy, so I'm expecting it to keep pushing down. Right? Can it come get this fair value gap? Yes, it can, but the algos may not want that yet. They may not want it until later, right? Because they came up to the breaking structure, left that fair value gap alone, and sold off. You see what I'm saying? It just came back to the breaking structure to come get the wax on, wax off for these. It may have not been many people skipped in here. I don't know why algos do what algos do. I just try to, figure out what algos doing. Will we come down, hit this fair value gap, take off and take out some buy side liquidity? I don't know. I don't care. Once we start, getting into these areas, I just start looking for my setup, and then I just trust my setup. Right now, I'm bearish right now. So it coming down to these fair value gaps right here don't mean me no never mind, because I ain't looking for no reason to buy. You know what I'm saying? I'm just looking for a reason to sell something right now because I'm bearish. Anyway, man, hopefully that helps somebody. Me breaking down what I'm trying to train my eye to see. I just want to share that, man. Instead of just talk about the price action, I just want to share what I'm trying to train my eye to see right now. I'm trying to trade my eye to see it right now. And shout out ICT for talking about when the stuff be like balanced out and stuff like that. I'm telling you, 99.9% of the stuff that I be trading right now is stuff that I got from ICT strategies. What's up, Robinson? What's going on, Sanjay? What's up, 2K Crypto? Hey, my guy. Would you consider the QQQ as taking out the fair value gap yesterday? Excuse me. Which fair value gap? On what time frame? What time frame you looking at? Why did I mark this? Who was I talking to? Towns? Well, I was talking to Towns about this. What was that? What we had marked yesterday? Oh, the gap. When we gap down. You talk about the gap down, or you say fair value gap? You talk about when we gap down, or you talking about the actual fair value gap, or when we gap down yesterday? I think that was his 813 market review where he talked mostly recently about fair value. Yeah. It was one. It was like one of them recent days. We got towns pulling up. We got towns pulling up.
Hey, what's going on, my guy? How you doing?
What's going on with you?
Because yesterday on the
You went real low. What you were saying?
can you hear me? All right.
Yeah, I hear you now. Go ahead.
Yesterday when we was talking, I marked that gap from yesterday morning from the after I was closed to the morning open. Is that considered covering it, or it just touched and it didn't do a good wax on wax off?
Oh yeah, we it still got plenty. It's still like I wouldn't take that. I wouldn't take that off until we see we came more than halfway with this 1430 candle right here.
Mm-hmm.
We came more than halfway up, but we still got this piece up here to still before we totally rebalance that. You see what I'm saying? Because we went up and we came down, taking care of like most of it. My battery dying on IG. Ain't nobody on there anyway. Let me turn this off. Um we did like the bottom 3/4 of the gap, but we still got people that's got skipped that's up in the top quarter of it. So we still need to get back up in there and get a wax on, wax off for the top half. But the algos may take care of that on the way back up. Like you don't have to totally fill the gap once the first time you get in it. You see what I'm saying? But I leave the gap open until we get the wax on, wax off, and then I take it off unless it's like junking up my chart too much, and I move it and just like try to remember that it's over there.
Okay, on Spylene, then I saw the same thing. Would you consider it covering it for Spylene? And I don't know if you talk about it or not. I literally just been able to really focus on what was being talked about.
Oh no, you good. Where do we close at this day right here? We closed right here. Yeah, so let me mark this out. Where to close? 1600 close, boom, right there. And then where's the open at? 930. Okay. I don't know if these, I'll just put it here. That's close enough. Okay, so all right, so here we go. We did this little piece, we went up and down in it, then we came up, we went all the way up, went out through it, and came all the way back down. And now it's other little stuff inside here that is taken care of. But for the main gap down, we have went up and we have went down. And now it's other little stuff that is rebalancing inside there too. So now that we went up and went down, once we blast down, I'll be expecting the algos to just push through that. You see what I'm saying? I'll be expecting to push through that. Or if we really bullish, but if we still bearish and we come back to it, I'll be expecting it to act as resistance a little bit. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Cause it's like once it get rebalanced, like we went all the way to the top and all the way to the bottom, right?
Right.
So we done offered, as ICT say, we done offered buy side and we done offered sell side all the way through the complete thing, right? But you see how we got like a lot of wicks at the top and the bottom. Then that's when it be like stuff inside there that be making me think, okay, we still may touch something to like finish up, like how we got like a small fair value gap inside here, how we traded back up to that and then went back down. You see what I'm saying? It'd be like little small stuff in there that I be paying attention to. But once we get that full gap down, rebalance, if we push back down to it and we come back to it before the bearish sentiment is over, I expect it to act as resistance. You see what I'm saying? But it's like if we push down to it, you know what I'm saying, come back, then once come back down, we come back to it. Now that we switching back bullish after we done ran down and ran the liquidity that the algos want, I would expect the algos to blast through it. You follow what I'm saying?
Okay. Right. Okay. And all right, I'm looking at you too. One other question. Why? I'm just asking from why you do it. Why do you just count the cap from the close, the regular hour close to the regular hour open? You don't look at the ones that's doing the pre and post market and after hours.
You talk about the full gaps?
Yeah, because like so like where I marked Spirling was I looked at the gap going back to yesterday, after hours in pre-market. I only marked that gap from the close at 18:45 on the 16th, and then the gap at the open on the 17th at the like 4:15. But I see that you marked the gap from the close at 4:30 and the open at 8:30 or 9:30 that morning.
So you marked it from like kind of like this right here, from that calendar to this calendar here.
Yeah.
Okay. The reason why I do that is because it's like I primarily trade during the official times. I don't trade during the pre-market and post-market. So for Spalene, I only count the gap downs for the official market hours. And then I look at like the fair value gaps. I look at all fair value gaps and gap downs on the ES because it's like it trade 23 hours a day. But with the SPY and the Qs, anything that's like got options that trade just during the New York session, I just use the official New York Times. I don't use like the post market and the pre-market for the gap downs or the fair value gaps. I just look at the fair value gaps and the gap downs on the ES for like the pre and post market stuff. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
Do that make any sense?
It makes sense. So I mean, yeah, it makes sense. Okay.
Yeah, because I don't trade the pre-market, so I don't market on like, cause if I get out of intraday, cause if you notice, I usually only watch the SPY on the daily chart. I don't watch the SPY on the intraday. You see what I'm saying? I watch the intraday action on the ES. So it's like when I put it on the daily chart, I can't even see that stuff. You see what I'm saying? I can't even see that stuff on when I put it on the daily chart. So I just, I basically just look at what I like I mark the official times for the gaps.
Okay.
I can't even see them other candles.
Well, that makes sense, man. I sure appreciate it. That's just the only question I had today.
I appreciate you, man, for pulling up, man. People have them same hard-hitting questions, man. People be bashful. They be shy. They don't want to pull up on the main stage. They don't want to pull up on the main, but I appreciate you for, you know what I'm saying? You helping so many cousins out. Because it give us an opportunity to have a conversation about something besides, you know what I'm saying? Hey, this what I'm looking at. This what I'm looking at. It'd be like real questions that people have, and they may go back and look at a recording, and then if you didn't ask that question, you know what I'm saying, they probably had that same question, and if you didn't ask it, I wouldn't have never touched on it, and you wouldn't have been helping all them people, man. You're a philanthropist.
Man, you know what, man? I'm a connoisseur of teaching and knowledge, man. So
okay,
I'm appreciating all this stuff, man, and just trying to put it in place. Because, like I said, I got a couple months before I do futures, so just trying to learn everything I can from somebody that's been doing it a while. So I appreciate you, man.
Oh man, I'm just dude from Fort Lauderdale, Florida, man. I appreciate you. Hey man, I'm getting hungry. My wife got it smelling good. I appreciate you, Towns.
All right, take it easy, man.
I'm about to kick you off. Hey man, I appreciate y'all for hanging out with me again. I got we done pushed down and we got both of them fair value gaps that we were looking at. Let's see what the market do. Let's see if we continue to push down. Let's see if we continue to push down or if we just gonna dilly dally. The market it ain't real active right now. The market moving real sluggish right now. It may be another just sit on the sideline day because the market been real sluggish all week. Oh, shout out my financial advisor Dustin, man. Dustin, he always coming with the hard hitting stats, man. He said this week is ranked 44th for the most active week in the S&P history. So that means that all of this dull, low volume is not strange. It's very common for this week right here to be very dull, choppy, ain't really taking off or taking the shooting down. It's normal for this week because he always coming with the hard hitting stats, man. He a real stats driven fiduciary, and that's why I appreciate him. That's why I like him. But yeah, man, it's looking real ho hum again today. Go to my Instagram page and look at the story, and please submit any questions that you may have for Eric, for me. I am so glad she hooked you up so you do not have to eat. Y'all see how they do me. Y'all see how they do me. Hey, y'all go to my Instagram story, man, and submit any questions you got for Eric. He's one of my financial advisors. Again, he's geared the questions more toward longer term stuff like IRA type stuff, like tax advantage type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Them kind of questions. Like if you looking to refinance a home, if you know what I'm saying, that kind of stuff, like long-term tax advantage, financial type decision stuff for Eric. Fundamental type stuff for Q. Market fundamentals, market analysis, stuff like that for Q. And then for me, y'all can ask me anything. If I know it, I answer it. If I don't know it, I defer to one of the other brothers. And if they don't know it, then it is what it is. But yeah, that's gonna be tomorrow. I mean, that's gonna be Tuesday at 7:30 p.m. But I got the story up now. Please go up and submit any questions that you have. I appreciate y'all for pulling up, man. Again, please support our sponsors, thenewtli.com. The apparel and accessory shop for traders and investors. Go get you a phone case, go get you a t-shirt, go get you a hoodie. Don't get no hoodie right now because it's summer, and whoo, we don't need no double whoppers with extra onions. Support Banjo, new music by Il Jodam on all streaming platforms. Banjo, new music by Il Jodam on all streaming platforms. Please support our sponsors and please tap in tonight for the price action review. Trade safe. Enjoy your day if you're at work. Enjoy your day at work. If you're not at work, enjoy your day wherever you are. And I'll see y'all tonight at 7:30 for the price action recap. Gone.